Greetings. How are y'all doing out there? Said I want to get a new song. Hey, love me some Afrobeat. What can I say? How y'all doing out there, goddesses? Okay, so we're gonna talk a little bit today about the astrology of September. So yeah, that's what we're here for today. I'm Tyra Omulade, your goddess guru, your sister friend, and I love helping women align with their life purpose using the power of ancient wisdom and the goddess-centered lifestyle. How are you doing out there, goddesses? Oh my goodness, this is the Monday after that full moon that we had yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday is the 7th of September. And I hope that the full moon is, being kind to you. It's an eclipse. So I know it can be, pretty intense. And this one could be a little bit confusing. It's Pisces. And it's, whenever we're dealing with an eclipse energy, it's like a new moon or a full moon on steroids. But hopefully you were able to see the video that I put out and talked about this full moon or just the eclipses in general too, so that you can understand the benefit that comes from the eclipses and understanding, when they're happening and taking advantage of, whatever it's bringing up for you. So please take time to look at that video because we're in eclipse season. September 2025 is eclipse season. Once we get to the 21st, we'll come out of it. But, these eclipses kick things off that last for at least 6 months in terms of like working with the energy currently, but they have even longer lasting effects. So, for instance, the everything that's happening in Pisces, we're going to have 9 years out from now, and then 18 years out from now. We'll be dealing with that 9 years is the cycle within a cycle. It's the halfway point within the cycle. And so this is I mean, it's pivotal. It's pivotal. Take advantage of this time. Make sure I'll go on ahead and make sure I link that in the video so that you can watch that video if you haven't watched it. Okay. So yes, want to talk about September. I know it's the 8th, but I had some time away, visited with my sons. My husband and I went to visit our sons, and they're doing well. So yeah, just I'm like, you know what? I show up and do what I can when I can. So I'm not going to skip just because I didn't get it done on September the 1st. We're going to talk about the astrology of this month, which we've already started talking about these eclipses. Also, as you can note on the ticker board, the Ultimate Life Hacking Bundle is here. The lady that you see here, this is Faith. She probably is the coach who I've worked with the longest. And she is just a wonderful, wonderful human being. And I loved it when she started putting these bundles together because people, it's lovely to get invited to these kinds of things or have the opportunity to participate. But when people are newer, you don't always have that opportunity. Also, sometimes people aren't good with putting these kinds of things together, and Faith and her team are so good at doing this. And so, this bundle, I sent an email out, I've put it in my emails, and now I'm going to start making sure I kind of talk about it. It's all about getting tools that will support you in all the different areas of life. In uh, coaching, we talk about having the wheel of life, and it's just like astrology. All those little pie pieces represent different areas of life. And what we want to do is to make sure that we get the support that we need, that we focus on those different areas of life. And that's what this bundle is all about. You can see we have people who talk about ADHD. And then this is what I really want to show you all too, my Sacred Simple Astrology for Women, your Sacred Year audio course. So I put together this audio course to help you all understand or remember the perfected year. We've talked about the perfected year here. My thing is, number one, you should get astrology readings. I'm just telling you, full stop. I was thinking I need to tell the sisters I've been studying astrology nonstop since 2017, and I'm still like, I'll call myself an astrologer, but I know that I have so much to learn. It is truly an art form. It's a science, and there are just certain things you cannot see with if you don't get the training. So you should get readings, don't get me wrong. However, for me, do like to make sure that I give you astrology tools that you can use on the regular, because sometimes you just need to know and understand for yourself. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to create a course on the perfected year, because every year we have a theme. It starts at the birthday and we have a theme. And just like the eclipses, without beyond a shadow of a doubt, they're going to create change whether people know or not. It's just how it is. I watch people who know astrology, I watch people who don't, and I can see the eclipses playing out. This is another one of those astrological techniques that I have learned, or tools that I've learned, works. The perfected year, it's just like in numerology, you might be in a 1 year or a 5 year or a 7 year or whatever. We have 12 years that you could be in, and each one of those years has a theme. And I find that without beyond a shadow of a doubt, you don't need time of birth. All you need to know is what year you're born in. You need to know your age. And if you know your age, you can understand what perfected year you're in. And that's what I do in this class, is I go through and I tell you, if you're in a perfected year too, what does that mean? What are the themes and the topics that are going to be coming up for you? One of the most difficult perfected years is a perfected year 8. I find that perfected 8 year is a beast. It's a beast of a year. And most people will have some type of struggle, deep transformation, something like that. Um, Before I knew astrology and I would see people going through these times, it would concern me. With astrology, it's like, oh, I know this person's going through a perfected 8 year. It helps me to understand how to support them, or even my own life, which is, largely what I want you all to do. So you get this for free. Everything that I'm showing you, these cost nothing. I thought this one looked lovely. Also, Be Your Best Friend package. We need these kinds of things right now. This is all about breath work, free, cost you nothing. I think mentioned this one earlier. Um, Managing and avoiding power struggles with your aging parents. A lot of you out there are more in my age group, and you get this. And if you're not there yet, you just keep living. You'll eventually need it. Energy reset. So you can get all these gifts. We even have a place here for you to um, log and keep up with everything that you're getting. Let's see here. The gifts. Let me show y'all this. Um, you just come in and you can just start seeing what's here. Money. There's things on money. Hold on. Let's see here. I think there was. So let's say you want personal finance. And so all of these are free. We have the money starter kit, mental load makeover, create more time for money, more time, energy, and money. Don't have a broke Christmas boot camp, stress free budgeting, find $500 in 5 weeks, piggy bank playbook. Ooh, that looks nice. The Savvy Savings and Money Mindset Guide, recession proof your money, fall theme planner, and budget. So that's just the money uh, section of this. Hobbies and crafts. That's something else that I really take this away, that I love about this. It covers all areas of life. And so hobbies are so important. Hobbies are so, so important. So I won't belabor this. I know that this one might be something that we kind of saw some of these um at the beginning. Let's see here. Release toxic ties, how to take a weekend trip for free. This lifestyle also. Mind movie magic, that's a good one. Intuitive expansion, prompts and cards. There's so much here. Now, let me just show y'all really quickly. I was going to show you my course. Like, let's see here. Is this it? This is where you'll hold on. Where is it? Yeah, this is there's like you'll come into this area of my website, but I did create a guidebook to go with mine. So there's the audio course. You can listen to it within the platform, or you can listen to it on via podcast. And yeah, I created this guide. I'm so proud of myself. So we have the perfections will, and then it just, I wanted to create this guide. So it's an easy guide. You can refer back to it. And I just go through each one of those. So through the course, I go through it. And then you have this quick reference guide that you could always look back at also. All right. So going ahead, link is in the description box. Sign up. You can download just my gift if you want to, or you can download any other gifts. You don't have to get anything you don't want. You just sign up for the ones that you do want, and voila, you have a new resource. All these are created not as freebies, but as these are actual paid offers that people have on their website. So, because we wanted to make sure we give y'all the highest value. All righty. So now we will go on to looking at what's happening in September. And yeah, it's impactful just because we do have these eclipses happening. Saturn went back into Pisces, and this is going to be its last time in Pisces for the next 30 years. So Saturn went back into Pisces, and it creates a whole different feel. First of all, Saturn is okay in Pisces. It doesn't have a problem with being there versus being frustrated in Aries. So that's good. Um, but Pisces is this kind of energy that it doesn't like structure. It has it's like no boundaries, and it doesn't really have a plan. It kind of free floats. And I'm not saying all Pisces are this way, but this is Piscean energy. I will say it's also very spiritual. It's compassionate, creative, intuitive, and Saturn being there can help make all of those areas better. It can bring more structure to your spirituality, can help you to be more structured in your art, in your creativity or your creative expression. Pisces is healing. So it can help with, creating more healing. Pisces is compassionate. It can help Pisces have better boundaries and not just spending all their time helping everybody, and put boundaries around that so that you can have more balance and get more things done. Because, it's kind of like this energy where you free float and you want to get away. And, it is that kind of energy. But Saturn, is asking you, it's like with Saturn, everything decent and in order. We need more order, we need a plan, Pisces needs, when we think about the boundaries, when we think about a cup, and we have the water in there. Part of the reason we love this cup is the boundaries it gives to the water, because it's going to hold the water in there. And so that's what Saturn and Pisces does. It gives shape and form to all this free flow instead of just letting it just flow and just do everything and go everywhere and be everywhere, and to a certain degree dissipate. It keeps it in, within a certain range. And so that's a blessing. So it's back in Pisces. It will bring up some karmic stuff, going back on that 29th degree of Pisces. Whenever planets go between water and fire, it creates a lot of karmic energy. So some of that is coming up. I think that this is a little bit of why this moon can feel a little bit challenging. Um, for some people, just heard a lot of people who are like, what is going on? Right. Or there's something challenging happening. Saturn also is fear, and being on that 29th degree, whatever fears are coming up, just know that they are coming up for you to actually acknowledge and do something about. Saturn is like, don't cry about it. What you need to do is do something about it, right? And so sometimes fear, it feels like we have to just be with it, but you don't. You don't have to just be with that fear, okay? You can face it. And Pisces is the subconscious mind. And so that's something that maybe is coming up for a lot of people. You may be saying things like, hey, I thought that I was over that thing, right? So Saturn is going to be there for a minute. I don't know when it goes direct, but we still have a little ways to go. Mercury moved into Virgo. I think I talked about that last week. So that is a beautiful thing. Mercury is very good in Virgo. And in a way, it helps us deal with the Saturnian energy in Pisces. Some of us may just start feeling like I must be more organized, I must be more orderly. Um, there's this energy around facing problems, things in the past. Maybe we've just kind of let it go. And it's just like, you know what? I can't ignore this anymore. I've got to face it and do something about it. And Mercury in Virgo will even help you to troubleshoot. So that's lovely. Mercury goes invisible on the 5th, which is not uncommon, but it's stronger. We feel its energy even more strongly when it's visible. So not a super big deal, but maybe some of the Geminis and the Virgos will kind of like feel a little bit of a shift happen for them. Or, you know, what happens is the energy of going invisible. Maybe there'll be something around communication that day, because Mercury has a lot to do with communication. Or maybe it'll be something with work coming up on September the 5th, because Virgo has to do with work. But it really and truly can create some type of shift as Mercury goes invisible. But it stays invisible a lot. So it's not uncommon. It's more exciting when it becomes visible, because it's visible for such a limited amount of time. And it's visible or invisible based on how close it is to the sun. So then we had Uranus go retrograde on the 6th. So um yeah, Uranus went into Gemini, made its grand entrance there in July, and now it's gonna, start going backwards. It's going to, whenever a planet retrogrades, we start reviewing some of the things that that planet brought up for us. And so, interestingly, me talking about Mercury, it's in Gemini, which is a mercurial sign. So it's shifting something in the mindset. We have to also understand that this is about the collective. Uranus is not a personal planet, it's a social planet. And so it's something around communication, um, transportation, moving to and fro, social media, something with technology, that kind of thing. Um, the media, because Gemini is the media. That is one of the things that I predicted. And, Uranus is going to be there for, I think, about 9 years, but there's going to be a shift in the media. And I have noticed some things now that I think about it. I watch a lot of what is considered progressive media, and a scandal, came out amongst the progressive media during this time that Uranus has been in Gemini. So I think all truths will be revealed um, in some way. with the media. But anywho, who knows? It could be like a replay of some news. Uranus is kind of shocking, and it's kind of like, how did we miss this? This story came out on this day, like from July to now, and we missed it, and we're bringing it back up. Even one of the things that's happening right now, that's something that's going on. I won't go into details, but because we can all look at the news. But anywho, so it's kind of like it came up, it went we didn't talk about it, and now it's coming back. So any of these could be happening on the personal level too, where it's like, you know, you maybe you found out some shocking news, it kind of subsided, then it's coming back up, or Uranus wants you to get a breakthrough. So maybe it's a conversation that will give you a breakthrough. And now Uranus is retrograding back into Taurus. Let me see. Do I see when it goes into why am I doing that? Let's see when it goes into Uranus goes back into Taurus on November the 7th. On November the 7th. So yeah. Um so that will be topics around Gemini from now until November the 7th. You can get a breakthrough, a mental breakthrough, some conversation where you get a breakthrough. It could even be a relational breakthrough because Gemini actually is a relational sign. And to a certain degree, it's this energy that has to do with networking and that kind of thing. So um very, very interesting. It has also to do with learning. Gemini has to do with learning. So maybe there's something you've been working to, really learn something. It's been difficult, but then all of a sudden you get this breakthrough. And then it's going to go back into Taurus. We'll talk more about that when it goes back into Taurus, but it will be bringing up Taurus themes, which, are very different from Geminian themes. But right now, we'll just focus on that. So it's retrograde. So we've had this full moon at Pisces, 15 degrees of Pisces. And yeah, it's a pretty powerful moon. Like I said, I made a video about it. I'm not going to belabor that. But Pisces, this Pisces full moon, I just feel like it is doing everything it can to drudge up as much gunk that is in our subconscious mind and to get us freed up from that. There's so many subconscious um, programs that are running in our minds and in our subconscious. Most people don't even know and understand how much the subconscious mind is making the decisions for you. We think about sabotage. Why do we keep sabotaging ourselves? Well, if there's something in the subconscious mind that is opposing the decisions you are making with your conscious mind, the subconscious mind is going to win. Even if you start out thinking, oh, this is going to work, I'm going to do it, I'm committed. If there is something in the subconscious mind that is not aligned, the subconscious mind is going to win. And so you really want to use, the eclipse in Pisces. And this, you got 6 months before we have another eclipse. And I think the next one starts shifting a little bit from Pisces and Virgo. I think one will be on the Pisces Virgo axis, and then we're going to have that first one on the Leo Aquarius axis. So y'all get ready. Like I said in that video, we are never far away from eclipses. They happen every year, at least 4. Now, between now and March, this is that time to be saying, hey, I got to face some stuff that I may not have been facing in order for me to move forward. So it's trying to give you a clean slate in the most, in my opinion, most important part of our being, which is our subconscious mind. Okay. So take advantage of that. This Mars invisible. I'm so happy I'm looking at the astrology today. Mars is invisible because Mars and the sun are getting closer and closer. The sun is catching up to Mars. And so that explains why I am just like, wow. I'm super tired. I am a Scorpio rising. How do I get rid of this? Okay, it's public, so I'm not gonna fuss. But you can see here's the sun, and it's getting closer to this Mars. It's gonna eventually catch up with this Mars. I think they're gonna meet in Sag. Yeah, I think they'll meet in Sagittarius. But anywho, they're gonna eventually meet. And so while Mars is invisible, it is it's like our drive might be low, our energy might be low. Aries and Scorpios may feel very slow and tired because your planet is not visible. It's like it's asleep. But in general, it weakens whatever Mars is good at, it weakens it. So again, things like passion and drive and the ability to take action, fighting, that kind of thing. Um, yeah, it can work in our favor. It cannot, with Mars being weak, it could be all the things that people want to do that are more harmful to people. They might be able to get away with it because people don't feel, people aren't feeling as strong. Mars was retrograde at the top of this year, and people were like, "What's wrong with the American people? Why are they not? Why are they not up active and fighting?" I'm like, because Mars is it's retrograde. It's weak. It just doesn't have the energy. Um, but by the same token, maybe the ones that want to do harm, they get weakened too. Everybody gets weakened, right? But it's very important when a planet is invisible to do that internal work. So Mars is asking you to go in and look at your like what's going on with your internal drive. Like, it kind of matches this Pisces energy, looking at what's going on with you and your passions and your desires and those kinds of things. So yeah, Mars is invisible. Uh let's see here. Okay, so Mercury's going to go into Libra, and Mercury is just okay in Libra. It's a fellow air sign, both of them are relational, so it could definitely bring uh a focus, put your mind on your relationships. And some of it might bring up like relationship beliefs, that kind of thing. Um, it's also about balance. And so all these things will be on your mind because that's what Mercury is about. And it might be, do you need more mental balance? Okay. Um, but yeah, Mercury going into Libra, in my opinion, it's sort of neither here nor there. Um, but yeah, we will definitely. Oh, here's another one. Libra does have to do with contracts and agreements, so it could be bringing up some topics around contracts and agreements also. And then Venus goes into Virgo on September the 19th. And, you know, Venus is what is called fall in Virgo. It's exalted in Pisces. That's where Venus does her best. And so Virgo is the opposite of Pisces. So Venus struggles in Pisces. Not Pisces, excuse me, Virgo. She really does struggle in Virgo. And a lot of times when Venus is in Virgo, it's like all this criticism. So we have Mercury that's going to be in, in the sign of Libra. And then we're going to have the planet of relationships in the sign of Mercury. I mean, in the sign of Virgo. So they're like in each other's signs. And so we could be really picky and nitpicky about relationships. So, but we have to remember Virgo is about troubleshooting. And more than likely, something is off. You've been thinking it anyway. And, Venus being in Virgo will just have us kind of like being honest about how we feel about our relationships. I will say, I sort of like Venus in Virgo because Venus can make the things that we dread the most, because Virgo is so practical and mundane, not Virgos, but the sign of Virgo is so practical and so mundane. I always tell people it's like the sign of the accountant. Who is excited about doing accounting outside of accountants? Nobody. If you think about some of the most mundane tasks that you could do, that is Virgo. But if we don't do those mundane tasks, then nothing gets done, right? But Venus there can make it like, hey, I know I need to look at my checkbook, or, there's this place in my room that I need to get organized. She can make it like, I feel good about it. It's like, I love doing these mundane things. And we get to be that person that just, I mean, I've seen people who have Virgo energy and they can just creatively come up with all these ways of organizing, and they just love like troubleshooting. It's like, let's sit down and, because it could be very analytical and they just love it. Whereas the rest of us are like, I just want to go play, right? But when Venus is there, we get to see what it's like to be the type of person who is imbued with that kind of energy. Okay. Also, Venus is about our health and self-care and our appearance. And so while she's in Virgo, she can help us in that area of life too. It's kind of like all the mundane things we got to do for eating and exercising. Well, when she's there, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, I'm enjoying this. This is great. I love this, right? So enjoy Venus and Virgo as much as you can. And just know, it's a little bit of a problematic placement. And so you may not be the happiest either, because that is it could be a lot of nitpicking going on, right? A lot of criticism going on, right? But it's trying to make you better. So okay. So then we're gonna have that new moon partial eclipse in Virgo on September 21st at 29 degrees. So this is our second new moon in Virgo. First one was at 0, getting something kicked off. This one's at 29. It's like we're trying to wrap something up. This is going to be a very powerful moon. I did a video about it in my Soul Alchemy membership. So please feel free to join. I know sometimes joining memberships, it's like, am I going to use it? I hope so. It's worth it so that you can stay on top of the astrology. And, I typically am adding things in to make sure y'all really get it. And, you can keep yourself, I talked about Saturn keeping you within those boundaries. Yeah, that's how I see astrology. But anywho, um, yeah, even I'm gonna have to go back and look at that video. But I just know that the anything on the 29th degree is gonna be very karmic, and it's an eclipse. So I would imagine something significant is gonna happen around that moon. And it could be personally, absolutely. And I do think it'll be something that we'll see out in the world. You know, I really love speaking, positivity and light into the world, but I can tell you right here, right now, Virgo has to do with health and well-being. So it could be something around um the health and well-being on the larger scale. And the other piece is something about work, workplace, that kind of thing. Oh, okay. Woo. Yeah, and see, look, Mars moves into Scorpio on the 22nd. I remember this. Mars is on the 29th degree on that day, if I'm correct. Let's see here. The 29th degree, yeah, on the 21st with um that new moon and that new moon eclipse in Virgo. Yeah. Oh my God. It's coming back to me because I made this video about a week ago. It's coming back to me now thinking, like, yeah. I remember saying in the video, I never liked Mars on the 29th degree. And so for it to be on the 29th degree, all I can think is I have to trust the universe. There's this divine design, and I sometimes look at astrological transits like this and think, I wish I didn't know astrology. That's not really true, but it's just kind of like, oh crap. It's a really rough transit. It's a very, very rough transit. That's going to be now. You have to remember this moon is kicking off in the short term a 6 month um, window, a 6 month cycle. And so from September to March, well, September 2025 to March 2026, I imagine that will be an exceedingly intense time. And it's so karmic. Let me think. Another way to think about this is the 29th degree is like something is unresolved and it needs to be resolved. And when there's a planet there, it will start kicking off that energy of we gotta take care of this. We gotta resolve it. So that's how it can show up. And it's like for the next 6 months, you're working to really resolve something that has just, I think it's like it's just been neglected and it needs to be taken care of. Next we have Sun moving into Libra. One moment. My timer was going off. I got to take my belly dance class. Okay, so yes, so the Sun goes into Libra. Of course, it goes there once a year. Um, yeah, so it'll highlight Libra topics, which we've already talked about because Mercury is already going to be there. Um, Mars has just been there. And so, yeah, Sun goes into Libra and will highlight topics like around relationships, contracts, and agreements. And are you in balance? And how do we bring harmony to a situation? And Libra is what is called a cardinal sign. And so it's all about something new happening in relationship to other people. So it's not just something new happening with you. It's something new that can happen in relationship to other people. So, maybe there is some new beginning. Maybe you want to get some support. I see Libra as a sign of support. Like, do you want to get a coach or a personal trainer, a therapist, a healer, set up something like that? If you are in one of those professions, then it's always a good time during Libra season to um use that time for your work and improving it in some way. And then Mars going into Scorpio is a beautiful placement. I know I was just complaining about Mars. Mars is it is the planet of my chart. I just don't like it on the 29th degree. But anywho, when it goes into Scorpio, that's one of the signs that Mars rules. So it does really, really well in Scorpio. That will bring some strength, I believe. So yeah, we have, the planets are moving and shifting, invisible to visible or visible to invisible, retrograde, into one sign, from one sign into a new sign. And then we have the eclipses. Those are the main things that are happening. We're in what is called now the time between the eclipses. And my advice to you all is use this time to integrate what has been brought up during this Pisces moon. Pisces is really a sign where it's like you got to be talking to the great divine, the great mother, God, whatever energy you call this the great divine. And it's like this level of trust, and it's this path of not knowing. I remember I got the message the other day of, you got to relinquish control around certain things. And if do you need to purge and release something, and it's kind of like, what are you willing to sacrifice in order to get what you want? That's a really good one for Pisces. So be thinking about those things. And then we're going to get on that ramp as we get closer to the 21st. We're going to get on this ramp where we're taking off with that new moon eclipse in Virgo. Okay. So I'm just going to pull. No, I said I was going to use, I bought a new deck. Okay. I have 5 minutes. Green Witches Oracle deck. And yeah, I just want to give you just a little bit of wisdom. Oh, this is so perfect for Virgo season, actually. Maybe that's why I bought it, is I just was feeling that Virgo energy. And yeah, let's get a reading for this month. Come on. I love that one. I love that card. Okay, we'll do two. So the first one that I pulled is called Lavender. And it says tranquility, kindness, and self-care. So that's a good one. Pisces is absolutely about self-care. Let me find this one, page 37. It's about tranquility and kindness. Yes. We talk about being compassionate to other people, but how compassionate are we to ourselves? Okay. It says lavender is a popular green witchcraft herb, often associated with peace, tranquility, rest, and relaxation. Its stress relieving properties make it the perfect herb to use in various self care applications, such as in a bath or essential oil. So, take a moment to consider whether you've been kind enough to yourself lately. Virgo, I do my best to make everybody look good, but Virgo's critical. So that's something to think about. The lavender card is a great reminder to take stock of how you treat yourself. Even today, I was saying to myself, I am so mean to myself at times. Yes, even me, Tyra. And I was like, what is wrong with me? So I need this card. Remember that kindness comes in many forms. You may have been critical of yourself or your body lately. That was me. Maybe you have been driving yourself too hard without eating or sleeping properly. I know a lot of people who do that. Take a moment for yourself to restore your equilibrium. This is a great time to re examine your life to see what changes you could make to facilitate less stress in general. And to a certain degree, that's kind of what the eclipses are about, because the part of the eclipse is asking you to release and let go. That's in Virgo. It's like, you know, yeah, you got to get this workaholic thing under control, or, if you're neglecting yourself or whatever. And Pisces is saying, hey, let's be a little bit more in the flow and relaxed about how we operate. Okay, so the next one is the watering can, and it stands for asking for help, sharing burdens. Now, what I love about this one, where is it? Okay. What I love about this one is that's that Libra energy. Remember I told you might need to get some support? Um Nothing happens naturally. Sometimes you must carry water to a plant. Being a green witch means stepping up to honor nature and act on its behalf. Sometimes that manifests as giving a plant what it lacks so that it can thrive. The reciprocal relationship between you and nature means that sometimes you're the one who needs nature's help, and sometimes nature needs your help. When you're lacking something, however, it can be at first hard to admit you need to ask for help. The watering can card tells you that something in your life needs external support, or that a burden needs to be shared. What are you carrying by yourself that maybe it's time to ask for some help? Don't be afraid to lean on others. Who is this for? So this is what you want to reflect on. Is there something in your life that needs outside attention or an injection of energy from somewhere else? So that's a beautiful reading. I love that oracle deck so much. It's such a beautiful one. Okay, so yes, thank y'all so much for being here. I'm wishing you a wonderful, wonderful September. And if y'all would remember to join the Ultimate Life Hacking Bundle, I went to so many pages that I got off the main page where you can sign up. But yeah, join it. Link is in the description box. And remember, you can get my Sacred and Simple Astrology for Women, Your Sacred Year course. You can see it right there. All right, Queens. Well, thank y'all. I appreciate and you can get so many other um uh, of the offerings that are here too. I don't want to just be making it about mine, but I mean, y'all know me. And nobody has this course. No one. It's a new course that I just created. So, all right, y'all take care and happy September. And we will be connecting again very, very soon. You want some music? I got some music for you. Okay, let me pull it up. I downloaded some new music just before I got on, just for you. Mm, yeah. They are fun people. Okay. So come on, Virgo. I'm gonna need y'all to take the lead on this dance set right here. Come on, Virgo. Come on. Virgo, where you at? I need all the Virgos to come to the front. It's y'all's turn to lead this dance set. Everybody else move to the back. Let the Virgos up. Come on. I'm following you, Virgo. If Ocean Kimmy watches this, you know I got you on my mind, girl. Come on. The Virgos be smooth with it too. You ain't gonna see them sweat. But y'all have a wonderful, wonderful September. We're gonna lock arms and we're gonna get through this together. Take care. Virgo, keep going. I'm following you.